Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and I apologise for not getting round to this sooner. I only necessarily heard about this call about it myself because I was in the middle of doing a whole bunch of other videos and only just recently came across this, and that is the actual phone call that Daniel Larson either got or he made. Because, of course, when you're in jail, you're entitled to one phone call. And as you can see right here, quite a number of things have actually been updated since we last talked about Daniel Larson's arrest. Now, for those who need just a quick reminder about the ins and outs of the story begins that Daniel Larson was meant to attend court at about 9:30 about 2 weeks ago, and because he didn't show for it, 1 minute later a warrant was out for Daniel Larson's arrest. Because what happens when you refuse to attend court, you become what is referred to as a fugitive of justice. And it didn't take necessarily too long for Daniel Larson to be arrested inside a shopping mall in the state of Colorado, and Daniel just sort of went along with it. And recently we found that this is, I know it's a little bit small, but this is Daniel Larson's mugshot, where all of a sudden it looks as if... I know it's very strange because I don't know if Daniel Larson is trying to do his best Squidward impression or whether or not it's sort of the reality a little bit of things has sort of come into view, which is weird to say the least, because I don't really know if it. I've said this before when people posed in mugshots, you can get a gauge about maybe if it's suddenly brought home to them exactly what their actions have led them to. But it's similar. It's strange. Do you think Larson looks like he has any sort of remorse or regret for what he's done, or do you think he doesn't realise, or do you think he even cares? So we're gonna see exactly what happens from when he calls from jail. So here we go.
Hello, this is a call from Daniel Larson, an inmate at the detention facility.
Thank God. Okay. Yeah, so apparently this is pretty much all Bob's fault.
I hope friggin' Daniel Larson's Ross just because of that. So anyway, I'll try that again. I hope Daniel Larson rots now because of that. Because you think of all the things Bob did for this man, and that's the very first thing he comes out with. That's some kind of thanks, that is.
But it's because... Don't tell him this, but it's because I haven't been going to my probation meetings because he won't give me my money to be able to get there.
Okay, so I have a couple things to tell you, I guess, because I don't know. Have you had any contact with the outside world yet?
No, I haven't.
Well, sadly, Toby Keith passed away.
Who?
The guy who sings Red Solo Cup.
Right.
Yeah.
Toby Keith passed away.
Yeah.
I know, well, it's just glad. Also, I heard that Too Mad also passed away yesterday. And also did Steve Wright and... Well, I think it's mostly between those three. Toby Keith, Steve Wright, and Too Mad. And Too Mad was only 23 years old, and Steve Wright was 69, so... Damn. Not that I think Daniel Larson knows who Steve Wright is, but that's besides the point.
So how you doing so far?
Well, I'm doing okay.
Do they have you in general population, with a bunch of other people?
I guess it's considered protected custody general population.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm not quite sure, but everyone is friendly, everyone is kind. I'm getting some help, from the inmates, trying to cope. But
If it's kind of interesting, because if Daniel Larson's getting help from the inmates, I don't know whether it's because Daniel Larson's made friends or whether or not they're going to basically groom him into taking the rap for certain things. Because, again, for anyone who's ever spent time in prison, they know fine well that there is sort of like an aristocracy that forms amongst people that they probably have known in the real world who end up in jail together, that sort of thing. On the other hand, imagine what the inmates would possibly do once they find out the sort of things that that Daniel lost. Well, here's the thing. If Daniel had any sense whatsoever, he would only say to the inmates what he got arrested for. Now, to be honest, considering we know what he got arrested for, and it would just be if he just says that he was just a fugitive of justice because he didn't turn up to court. Well, he could just say he was on his way there, but he just didn't get there in time. You know what? Make things that try and lighten the story as much as he can, because the second people find out that Chris lusts after Grace Vandervoort and all this other stuff, you could guarantee that Daniel's time might be comparatively short. Because listen, even people who are the P word, they are treated like scum in prison. And it would be worse for Daniel because there would be feasibly nowhere for him to run to. You know what I mean? He can't ask for special treatment. You can't ask for anything like that. He is going to get absolutely what he deserves if word gets out about that sort of thing. So, yeah, if Daniel had any sense, he's got to learn to be more streetwise than probably he would ever be on the outside. He's got to understand these things. And there's no canals or Long Island Sounds or Hudson Rivers for him to throw brand new headphones in. No, Daniel's going to have to treat the clothes on his back as though it was the last thing he ever owned.
Yeah, I don't know why they put my bond so high.
I know.
The only reason I can think about why his bond is so high is because it's not the first time that Daniel had to go to like probation. It's not the first time Daniel had to go to court, and for these list of previous offences, that's why his bond is so high. Which, again, well, considering, again, Daniel makes up all these lies about how well his music is sold, you imagine that this should be just a walk in the park for Daniel. He'd just be able to pay that off in, like, one go, and then he's a free man. Mind you, he still has his debt to society to pay, which, even if he does pay, or if he even understands what the meaning of it is, then, well, whether or not Daniel comes out anytime soon is entirely speculative, known to his health or some other things that might happen in jail. But whether any of them do happen or things settle for the better for Daniel, I'll leave up to your imagination. / the future will probably show us instead.
$20,000.
Worst case scenario, yeah, and I don't think I'm going to be here too long.
No, I mean, it would be max, is what I was looking into. I think 120 days.
Well, yeah, maybe for his offences.
Well, a max of 120 days is still a decent time, but...
I mean, yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, it is scary, but...
Your body cam footage just came out like 2 hours ago, and
Wait a minute. So the fans leaked my camera footage?
No.
yep, all of it.
Well, okay, how the police... why the police... Well, okay, maybe somebody did get a hold of his footage from the police department, from the police and stuff like that, but I don't know the ins and outs of that, so we'll have to take them at their word for this until proven otherwise, or whatever else.
Bill?
Yeah, they put hands on you hard.
Oh, yeah, they did.
And you also called me like a minute before it happened, so I placed all those pieces together.
Yeah, did you see how...
So, as in, this guy here literally just... Well, do you guys remember when Chris Chan was arrested and he was somehow... Chris was somehow perplexed about how Bella managed to... How all this corresponded and Bella was involved in it, and then Chris called No a few hours later saying that it was a misunderstanding because I just got off the phone with Bella. She's saying that it was a misunderstanding because the trolls got a hold of my information. I mean, I don't know who's going to break it to Daniel about this, but I don't know if it's just me talking about my arse, but I think, yeah, you could sort of suspect what's happened.
Yep, and you were asking if your phone was broken? Yep.
Yeah.
Anything wrong with my phone broke?
Yeah,
That's crazy. If the fans leaked all the camera footage,
all of it.
did they also leak the ones from the jail?
Yep, when they're asking you the questions in jail. And then they even leak stuff you couldn't hear, where the cops are talking about how you're big on TikTok and that you pulled they pulled the fire alarm, and they were talking about how you have all these people on TikTok that follow you. And then there was an ununiformed police officer who I honestly think was McDougal. Was McDougal there?
I don't think it was Daniel McDougal, but I do believe it was somebody from the FBI.
Yeah.
Oh god, you know. Okay, this is. So they're trolling Daniel still by saying it was someone from the FBI. Also, someone told him about Daniel's stuff on TikTok. Oh god, you could tell. Hey, if 120 days max is the maximum Daniel would get for this, for being a fugitive of justice, you could probably imagine that if they could, they probably would have increased the charges or arrested him on the grounds of what else he did, like pulling. Is it something like a fine you get for pulling a fire alarm without under false pretenses? It's something like that.
And I did see your friend too, the black security guard. They were telling the other cops were scared to approach you. They were like, he could be armed and dangerous, and the one guy was like, we could get this done in 5 minutes.
This is not that complicated. It really isn't. And that's the thing, Sarge. He's not going to run through the mall. We got 3 of us here to be able to grab him easily. I have a rapport with them. They're making this more complicated than what it needs to be. It doesn't. We don't need all these resources to take one dude into custody, which he's going to be fine.
It's like a whole thing. They surrounded you in the mall. It was crazy.
Well, he was a criminal, so they had to get involved somehow.
Yeah, I don't know why they were acting the way they acted. But anyways, yeah. So I'm okay.
Thank God.
Yeah. My main concern is, just how we're gonna get this taken care of.
Exactly.
I know for a fact Bob can't do it all. I don't.
Oh, for God's sake, why is Grace being dragged into this? Also, I don't... Listen, to be honest, if my dad knew about this, I don't think he would bail me out. I don't really think he would want to have much to do with me ever again if this happened to me. But if I am being completely fair and honest, ladies and gentlemen, just spending at least 4 months in the cell might actually be the best thing Daniel could do. Because you know what? I think in situations like these, Daniel needs some time to just consider. To sit down, be quiet, and consider. Just consider his actions, consider exactly what he's... But then again, is that possible for Daniel, given the fact that it's only alleged that he has schizophrenia or not? I don't really think... But then again, I don't have schizophrenia, so I don't know what the circumstances would be if he's able to sit down and just be quiet and just think about things. Because it didn't really work for Chris, with what we know about how things went when he was in the Western State Hospital, because of I think it was a result of some mental scenario, I think. But again, the fact that Daniel is having Grace on his mind, even to this day, suggests only one thing possibly, is that maybe the narrative of Daniel Larson is going to be that you think that this is the turning point, or you think this is the point where Daniel never sees the sun for the rest of his days. But no. How on earth... I mean, let's face it, Daniel's not particularly the most healthiest person in the world anyway. I mean, he's skinny as hell when he suffers from problems with, overexposure to the sun and to the outside world. So, how bad do you think things are going to be? Do you think he'll start developing rickets? Do you think his hair is just going to be it's going to start... How Daniel even still has any hair and it hasn't fallen out due to stress or everything else that's happened? Well, we'll wait and see. Only history will be able to show us this.
No, if Grace can. I don't know. I think it's going to take a team effort. But
What team's that? Team
I
Daniel
mean,
Larson?
if we already got in contact so far, we're off to a good start.
yeah. I probably shouldn't even say this, but it's not a problem, but whatever. But I also haven't even seen a public defender yet.
Jeez.
They're saying that as far as safety goes, they are not allowed to tell me when I'm being transferred.
That's probably for the best, and probably for like security reasons it makes sense. Oh fuck. I don't care what's new in Creative Cloud. I told them I was done with this. Hang on. That's better. Okay, so is that like just... I'm gonna see if there's like a part... Oh god, there is a part 2. Recent arrest call part 2. Okay, so let's continue more into this.
They're saying that as far as
They can't say
safety
when he's being
goes,
transferred.
they are not allowed to tell me when I'm being transferred.
Sheesh.
It does make sense.
Well, yeah, because they don't want your fans coming to bust you out while you're being transferred. And also your
I love
mugshot's
how
gone viral.
Daniel doesn't even give this a second thought. He thinks that literally the Daniel Larson fan base the world over is coming to bust him out. In reality, it wouldn't surprise me if there were more things that they could pin on Daniel and send over to the Colorado Police Department just so they know exactly what they're dealing with.
Too.
My mugshot.
Yeah, it's viral.
So, you, because I'm in general population, did they leak those videos too?
No, there's no videos of you with like other prisoners, just getting checked in.
Just getting checked in. Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, the fans have done that before.
True.
But, and I mean, there's nothing I can do, you know.
Have you been eating well, or?
I've been eating okay. Is Grace okay?
Oh, for
Yeah,
God's
oh my God,
sakes,
she was
really?
shocked.
Grace again?
And I was like, because we thought you would be out by the morning, and then everything just kept getting worse and worse.
Right.
So what have you been doing to fill your time? Have you been like writing songs or working
I
at?
can write songs. At this point, I would probably, now that I have contacts and I can confirm that.
I was gonna say-
My big concern is just trying to, keep getting this bail stuff.
Exactly. I mean, and I can also leave messages to the community for you. Like if you want to say anything to the Reddit or anything, I can like tell them, you know?
Yeah. What I would say, if we said anything to the community, is if we could try to help, like, all do teamwork to try to pay the bail.
Yeah. I agree. I'm going to try and get on that
I'm actually
straight
going to
away.
go onto Reddit right now and see if there legitimately is a petition to get Chris busted out of jail. Daniel, I keep calling him Chris for some reason. Okay, so let me see. Reddit. Let's see. Did you see? Okay, nothing. Oh, there was apparently an update when he was like apparently in a courtroom, I think. Oh, it's this court hearing. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to assume for 1 second that no, he hasn't. There's been nothing about like a petition to have him released, so the bond is apparently the bond has been lowered to $5,000 since the last time we talked. Okay, that's pretty interesting, but obviously I've said it before, ladies and gentlemen, the punishment should fit the crime, and I don't know if it's just the judge. I don't know why his bond was changed, and maybe this is something we'll look into, because we're going to do his court hearing stuff very shortly as well, so keep on your toes for that one.
What I would do is I would set up a Venmo, Cash App, GoFundMe, and I mean grind.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it will get up there fast if people grind.
And
Like give it like 4 days max.
exactly. And another thing is you could even like, you know how the famous artists sometimes they do stuff over the phone, like music and everything.
Well, we probably can't do that, but that doesn't stop me from
True.
being able to publish lyrics.
True.
You know how artists have done that before.
There's no
But
stopping
anyway,
it.
I don't want to waste our
True.
time and money right now. All right.
Okay.
I will call you in the morning.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I am normally out like from breakfast to lunch, and then from dinner till like 10.
10. Okay.
Yeah, 10 Colorado time.
Well, do you know what time it is right now?
I don't really do
We know that,
I'm either
Daniel.
playing cards with the rest of the people in the, big room. But when I'm in the cell, I'm either just, like, sleeping or, staring at the ceiling thinking,
Jeez.
But I will probably start working on lyrics. My big concern right now is just about college.
You're not going back to college, Daniel. It's a bit late for
Don't
that.
worry, Daniel. I never give up.
Yeah.
I knew what I had to do.
You sure did, pal.
Yeah, she is. And so is the whole UCLA thing, because the votes came in later that day, and you won. But then since you were nowhere to be seen, Chang took over. So you got to take your place back once you get out.
Well, yeah, and that's not good, because, we already know his rules and stuff for UCLA, for the government.
Yeah.
It's like, technically it should be a violation of the U.S.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Like, I don't know why he wants to put, like, ham dog, even though it is legal to eat dog in, like, China. I don't know why he's trying to get that in the U.S. now.
Yeah, that's weird.
And he's an international student. Who knows if he's lying or not to the entire school just so he can run for student government? I don't know.
True. And then have you met some friends? You said you were playing cards, so it's like war.
I haven't really, I don't want to call them friends, but I've met some nice people.
Yeah.
I group myself with the people I don't want to say I trust, but I feel comfortable with.
Yeah. And is your cellmate a nice person?
My cellmate is okay. Sometimes I feel like I would do better in my own cell, but other times I feel like the company is better.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But, what I've been told, this is just what I've been told by the cellmates.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, but anyways, I'll talk to you tomorrow, okay?
Okay, I'll be ready.
All right.
All right.
Sounds good.
Stay safe, Daniel.
That's actually like really, really interesting, because now we run into almost the stage of, well, again, I probably might want to literally go straight to Chris's, Daniel's story about what it was like in court, because now I'm running into because I know it must be into the sort of conversation about recorded into the information about what his court case was like, because certainly something I wrote and was really, really involved in, and for some reason this right, you know what, cancel them. I don't. Now we're getting into the interest. Now we're getting into the interest about what happens in his court case, and this is something I'm probably gonna have to go into right now, because I want to know why his bond was lowered and why everything else has been happened, because it's so interesting as well. But it would be even more interesting if it also wasn't so tragic. But unfortunately, I don't know how well things are going, because this is getting completely out of hand. And there we go. And I hope you guys have learned something from this, and I'll make sure to catch all of you guys again in the next video. Take care, and bye bye for now.